Hey, welcome back to Practical English for Life in America. I'm Grace. And if this is your first time here, I want you to know something before we start. This is not a channel about sounding perfect. This is a channel about not getting stuck, about having the words ready before you need them, not after. So here's a quick test before we begin. Close your eyes for 1 second. Imagine it's your second week at a new job in the United States. You're in the break room. A coworker walks in, gets a coffee, looks at you, and says, "Hey, how was your weekend?" Now, imagine your mind goes blank. You know the words. You know weekend. You know good. But nothing comes out except one word, good. And then silence. The coworker nods, takes their coffee, walks away. That's it. That's the whole interaction. Now open your eyes. If that scene made you a little nervous, good. That nervous feeling, that's exactly what we're fixing today. Because in an American workplace, small talk is not just small talk. It is how people decide, without even realizing it, whether they like you, whether they trust you, whether they want you on their team. And if you only ever say good, fine, okay, people stop asking. Not because they don't like you, because they think there's nothing there to find. And when there's nothing to find, people stop looking. Today, you're going to learn exactly how to answer these questions in a way that keeps people talking to you, keeps you included, and honestly, keeps your job feeling like somewhere you belong instead of somewhere you're just surviving. If this sounds useful, tap subscribe now because we build a new survival skill every single day, and today's skill might be the one that changes how your coworkers see you. Let's get into it. I want to tell you about someone. Her name is Lien. She's 26. She moved to the United States 8 months ago, and 3 weeks before this story starts, she got her first office job here. Not a huge company. A mid-size logistics company, maybe 60 people, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone by the second month. Lien was so proud of getting this job. She studied for the interview for weeks. She practiced her answers about her experience, her skills, her strengths, and she got the offer. She cried a little when she got the email. Finally, a real office job, a real desk, a real chance. But Lien had a fear, and it wasn't about the work itself. She was good at the work. Spreadsheets, emails, scheduling, she could do all of that. Her fear was the 5 minutes before a meeting starts, when everyone is sitting around the table and someone says, "So, how was your weekend?" Or the 2 minutes in the break room, when someone is making coffee and says, "Long day." Huh? Those small moments, those tiny cracks of conversation that happen 10, 20 times a day in an American office. Lien could read English fine. She could write emails fine. But those quick, casual moments, her brain would freeze. And when her brain froze, what came out was one word. Good, fine, busy. And then nothing else. Just silence and an awkward little smile, and the other person eventually looking away and finding a reason to leave. By the start of her third week, Lien started noticing something that scared her more than any grammar mistake ever could. The Friday team lunch. Every Friday, 5 or 6 people from her department would walk to the sandwich place 2 blocks away, and eat together, talk about their weekend plans, laugh about something that happened in a meeting. In her first week, someone had asked her to come. She'd said, "Oh, maybe next time," because she panicked at the idea of sitting there for 45 minutes trying to keep up with fast, casual English. In her second week, nobody asked her again. She told herself it didn't matter. She told herself she was there to work, not to make friends. But every Friday at 12:30, when she watched that group walk out the door laughing, something in her chest felt tight. Then came the moment that really scared her. It was a Wednesday, the start of her 4th week, and her manager, a woman named Patricia, stopped by her desk in the afternoon. Patricia was known for being direct but fair, the kind of manager who noticed everything even when she didn't say much. She looked at Lien's screen for a second, nodded at her work, and said, "This looks great, by the way, really solid." Lien felt a small wave of relief. Then Patricia paused, tilted her head slightly, and said something Lien would think about for days afterward. "Hey, quick thing. How are you settling in? Feeling okay with the team?" Lien's mind went into that familiar panic. She wanted to say so many things. She wanted to say that she loved the work, that she was learning fast, that she just needed a little more time to feel comfortable speaking quickly in English. That she wasn't shy. She was just careful, but none of that came out. What came out was, "Yeah, good. It's good." Patricia waited half a second, like she was expecting something else, some detail, some hook to hold on to. Nothing came. So Patricia just nodded slowly and said, "Okay, good, good," and walked back to her office. That night, Lien couldn't stop replaying it. Not because Patricia said anything negative. She didn't. But Lien had worked in offices before, back home, and she knew that look. The look of someone quietly filing information away. And 2 days later, she overheard something she wasn't supposed to hear. She was walking past the small conference room, and the door was open, just a crack, and she heard Patricia talking to another manager about the upcoming 90-day review, the review that decides whether a new employee passes probation. Lien heard her own name, and she heard Patricia say, "She's sharp. Her work is great, but I honestly don't know much about her. She's hard to read. I want to make sure she's actually settling in before I sign off on this." Hard to read. Those 3 words hit Lien harder than any criticism about her work ever could have. Because it wasn't about her skills. It was about the fact that in 8-9 conversations, she had given 8-9 one-word answers, and Patricia genuinely did not know if Lien was happy, struggling, comfortable, or counting the days until she could quit. And in an American workplace, that uncertainty, that blankness, can be just as risky as a real mistake on a spreadsheet. That weekend, Lien sat at her kitchen table and made a decision. She wasn't going to let one small habit of answering in single words, cost her a job she had worked so hard to get. She started paying attention, really paying attention, to how her American coworkers answered each other. And she noticed something simple. Something so simple it almost felt silly. Her coworkers never just said good. They always added one small extra piece. Pretty good, actually, just a little tired. Good, yeah. Busy week, though. Not bad, kept it low-key. One tiny extra detail. That was it. That tiny detail was like a small hand reaching out, inviting the other person to ask one more question to keep the conversation alive for just a little longer. So this is where you come in. This is exactly what we are going to build together today. Not long answers. Not perfect answers. Just one small hook added to the answers you probably already know. Let's start. Listening and practicing right now, the same way Lien had to teach herself, one sentence at a time. Here's your first pair. Listen first. How was your weekend? Good. One word. The conversation stops right there. Now the version with a hook. Pretty good, actually. Kept it pretty low-key. Listen to that again. Pretty good, actually. Kept it pretty low-key. Now it's your turn. Say it out loud with me. Pretty good, actually. Kept it pretty low-key. One more time. A little faster, the way you'd really say it at work. Pretty good, actually. Kept it pretty low-key. Good. Do you feel that? That phrase, kept it pretty low-key, gives the other person something to grab onto. They might say, "Oh, nice. Needed the rest." And now you're talking. Now you're not just the quiet new person at the desk in the corner. Let's do another one, because this is a phrase you will use constantly in an American office. Someone asks, "Busy day?" A one-word answer would be, "Yeah." Door closed. Here's the open version. "Yeah, pretty busy. Trying to wrap up a few things before the deadline." Listen again. "Yeah, pretty busy. Trying to wrap up a few things before the deadline." Now you say it. "Yeah, pretty busy. Trying to wrap up a few things before the deadline." One more time and really push through it. Don't slow down in the middle. "Yeah, pretty busy. Trying to wrap up a few things before the deadline." Notice something about that answer. It doesn't just say you're busy. It gives a reason. The deadline. That word does two jobs at once. It answers the question, and it shows your coworker that you're a responsible person who thinks about deadlines, who's engaged with the work. That's not an accident. That's the skill. Let's do a break room moment now, because this is where Lien struggled the most. And honestly, it's where most people struggle the most, because break room talk feels the most unpredictable. Someone's making coffee. They say, "Long week?" "Huh?" A weak answer. "Yeah." Here's the strong version. "Yeah, it's been a lot, honestly. Glad it's almost Friday." Listen again. "Yeah, it's been a lot, honestly. Glad it's almost Friday." Say it with me now. "Yeah, it's been a lot, honestly. Glad it's almost Friday." Again, a little more naturally, like you're actually tired and actually relieved. Yeah, it's been a lot, honestly. Glad it's almost Friday. Here's why that sentence works so well. In a workplace, glad it's almost Friday is something almost every single American office worker feels and says. It's not personal information you're risking. It's shared, safe, relatable. It makes people smile and nod because they feel exactly the same way. That's the fastest way to connect with a coworker you don't know well yet, finding the shared feeling everyone already has. Now, let's try one that's a little more specific to being new, because you're going to hear this question constantly in your first weeks at any American job. How are you liking it here so far? A weak answer. It's good. Here's the strong version, the one that actually builds trust. It's really good so far. Still learning where everything is, but people have been super welcoming. Listen again slowly this time. It's really good so far. Still learning where everything is, but people have been super welcoming. Now you try. It's really good so far. Still learning where everything is, but people have been super welcoming. One more time, and say it with a small smile in your voice, even if no one can see you right now. It's really good so far. Still learning where everything is, but people have been super welcoming. Do you see what happened in that answer? Two hooks, actually. Still learning where everything is invites someone to say, oh, do you need help finding anything? And people have been super welcoming is a small, warm compliment to the person you're talking to and the whole team, which makes people like you instantly because everyone wants to hear that their workplace feels good to a new person. Let's keep going. Because Lien didn't just need these for the break room. She needed them for meetings too, the moment right before a meeting officially starts, when the room is quiet except for small talk. This is a moment that terrifies a lot of new employees because it feels so exposed. Everyone's sitting there, waiting, and someone turns to you specifically. So how's your week going so far? A weak answer, fine. A strong answer, it's going well, actually. A little full, but in a good way. Listen, it's going well, actually. A little full, but in a good way. Now you. It's going well, actually. A little full, but in a good way. Again, with confidence, like you belong at that table, because you do. It's going well, actually. A little full, but in a good way. A little full, but in a good way is one of the most useful phrases you will ever learn for a workplace because it lets you admit you're busy without sounding stressed or negative. In American work culture, sounding positive, even when you're busy, is a small, subtle skill that people notice, even if they never say it out loud. Now, before we move forward, let's do a quick round, just like Lien practiced at her kitchen table that weekend. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Every single time, answer with one small hook. Don't just say one word. Ready? Here we go. How was your weekend? Pretty good, actually. Kept it pretty low-key. Busy day? Yeah, pretty busy. Trying to wrap up a few things before the deadline. Long week, huh? Yeah, it's been a lot, honestly. Glad it's almost Friday. How are you liking it here so far? It's really good so far. Still learning where everything is, but people have been super welcoming. How's your week going so far? It's going well, actually. A little full, but in a good way. 5 questions, 5 open answers, 5 small hooks. That's not luck. That's a skill, and you're already building it. Now let's move into the second layer of today's lesson. Because answering well is powerful, but there's something even more powerful, and that's knowing the exact vocabulary that American coworkers use every single day in these small, casual moments, the words that make you sound like someone who's already part of the team, not someone still translating in their head. Here's your first cluster of words for today, and these are words you will hear constantly in break rooms, hallways, and before meetings. Listen first, then repeat after me for each one. First word, low key. Repeat after me, low key. Low key means simple, calm, not a big deal. If your weekend was low key, it means you didn't do anything huge or exciting. You just relaxed. Example: we kept the weekend pretty low key, just stayed home and cooked. Another example: it was a low key celebration, just a few of us. Now you make one sentence with low key. Go ahead, say it out loud. Second word, wrap up. Repeat after me. Wrap up. Wrap up means to finish something, usually a task or project. Example: I'm trying to wrap up this report before lunch. Another example: let's wrap up the meeting in 5 minutes. We're running late. Now your turn. Make one sentence using wrap up. Third phrase, settling in. Repeat after me. Settling in. Settling in means getting used to a new place or situation, feeling more comfortable over time. Example: how are you settling into the new apartment? Another example: it took me a few weeks to settle in, but now I feel at home. Now you try it. One sentence, settling in. Fourth phrase, a lot on my plate. Repeat after me, a lot on my plate. This means having a lot of work or responsibilities right now, feeling busy. Example: I've got a lot on my plate this week. 3 projects due at once. Another example: she always seems to have a lot on her plate, but she handles it well. Your turn. Say a sentence with a lot on my plate. Fifth phrase, catch up. Repeat after me. Catch up. This has 2 common meanings at work. 1. To talk and share news after not seeing someone for a while. 2. To finish work you fell behind on. Example: first meaning, we should catch up sometime. It's been a while. Example: second meaning, I need to catch up on my emails from this weekend. Now you make a sentence with catch up, either meaning, sixth phrase, team player. Repeat after me. Team player. A team player is someone who works well with others, helps out, and cares about the group's success, not just their own. Example: she's a great team player, always willing to help. Another example: being a team player really matters here. People notice who pitches in. Now your sentence with team player. That's 6 important phrases. And I want you to notice something. None of these are big, fancy, complicated words. Enormous, crucial, significant. Those words might look impressive in a textbook, but nobody says them casually in the break room. What people actually say is, low key, wrap up, a lot on my plate, catch up. Simple, real, everyday words that Americans use constantly at work, and now they're yours too. Let's put all 6 of these words together into one short scene, the way Lien might have used them in her real office, so you can hear how they sound naturally connected, not just as separate flashcards. Listen carefully, then we'll shadow the whole thing together. Here's the scene. It's Monday morning. Lien walks into the break room. A coworker named Carlos is already there, pouring coffee. Carlos says, "Morning. How was your weekend?" Lien answers, "Pretty low-key, honestly. Just caught up on some sleep." Carlos laughs and says, "Nice. I need one of those weekends. Mine was the opposite. Family stuff all weekend." Lien says, "Oh, that sounds like a lot. Well, hope this week's a little easier for you." Carlos says, "Thanks, I hope so too. I've got a lot on my plate this week trying to wrap up this client project." Lien says, "Let me know if you need help. I can jump in if you're settling in behind on anything." Carlos smiles and says, "That means a lot. Thanks for being such a team player. Let's shadow that whole exchange together now, piece by piece. Repeat after me. Morning. How was your weekend?" Now the answer. "Pretty low-key, honestly. Just caught up on some sleep." Again, a little faster. "Pretty low-key, honestly. Just caught up on some sleep." Now the next line. "That sounds like a lot. Well, hope this week's a little easier for you." One more time. "That sounds like a lot. Well, hope this week's a little easier for you." Now this one. "I've got a lot on my plate this week, trying to wrap up this client project." Repeat. "I've got a lot on my plate this week, trying to wrap up this client project." And the final offer. "Let me know if you need help. I can jump in if you're behind on anything." Say it with me. Let me know if you need help. I can jump in if you're behind on anything. Do you feel the difference between that scene and Lien's real conversation with Patricia? In this scene, every single answer has a hook, a detail, an offer. Nobody says just good or just fine. And notice the ending. Carlos calls Lien a team player, not because she did something huge, but because in one small conversation, she showed interest, offered help, and kept the door open. That's it. That's the whole secret. It's not about being the most talkative person in the office. It's about never leaving a dead silence where a small hook could have been. Let's keep building on that because Lien didn't stop with the break room. The real test was coming, and it was coming fast, in the form of a meeting. 3 days after her conversation with Patricia. A meeting where the whole team would be sitting around the table, and Lien knew she couldn't afford another round of one-word answers. But before we get back to her story, let's add a second cluster of words to your toolbox, because these next 6 are the ones that work best for slightly deeper conversations, the kind that happen when someone wants to know how you're really doing, not just a quick hallway greeting. First phrase, still finding my footing. Repeat after me. Still finding my footing. This means you're still adjusting to something new. You're not fully comfortable yet, but you're figuring it out step by step. Example: I'm still finding my footing with the new software, but it's getting easier. Another example: she's still finding her footing in the role. Give her a bit more time. Now make your own sentence with still finding my footing. Second phrase, get the hang of it. Repeat after me. Get the hang of it. This means to learn how to do something well after some practice. Example: it took me a week, but I finally got the hang of the filing system. Another example: don't worry, you'll get the hang of it soon. Everyone does. Your turn, one sentence. Third phrase, open up. Repeat after me. Open up. In conversation, this means to share more personal thoughts or feelings instead of staying closed and quiet. Example: she doesn't open up much at first, but once she trusts you, she's great to talk to. Another example: I felt comfortable enough to open up a little about how nervous I was. Now your sentence, using open up. Fourth phrase, pull your weight. Repeat after me. Pull your weight. This means doing your fair share of the work. Being reliable, not letting your team down. Example: everyone here pulls their weight. That's why the team works so well. Another example: I want to make sure I'm pulling my weight, even in these first few weeks. Your sentence now, fifth phrase, read the room. Repeat after me. Read the room. This means understanding the mood or feeling of a group of people, knowing when to talk and when to stay quiet. Example: he's really good at reading the room. He knew exactly when to bring up the idea. Another example: I'm still learning to read the room in meetings here. The humor is different. Your turn, sixth phrase, check in. Repeat after me. Check in. This means to ask someone how they're doing, especially to see if they need help or support. Example: my manager checks in with me every Friday just to see how things are going. Another example: I wanted to check in and see how you're settling in. Now make your own sentence. 6 more real, usable phrases. Notice again. None of these are complicated. Get the hang of it. Pull your weight. Check in. These are words a 5-year-old native speaker understands, but they carry real meaning in a workplace. Real trust, real belonging. That's the gap most English learners fall into. They study furthermore and nevertheless for the exam, but nobody at the coffee machine has ever said nevertheless in their life. Now, let's go back to Lien, because this is where her story turns, and I want you to listen closely, because the moment I'm about to describe is the moment that changed everything for her. It was Thursday morning, 3 days after she overheard Patricia's conversations through that half-open door. The team had a project update meeting. 8 people around a long table, laptops open, coffee cups everywhere. Lien walked in a few minutes early, which she almost never did before, because early meant standing around making small talk, and small talk used to be her biggest fear. But this time, she walked in on purpose. Carlos was already there, the same Carlos from the break room, setting up his laptop. He looked up and said, "Hey, morning. You're here early." In the old version of Lien, 3 weeks ago, she would have said, "Yeah," and looked down at her phone. But this time, she took a small breath and said, "Yeah, figured I'd grab a coffee first. Wanted to be a little more caffeinated before this one." Carlos laughed, actually laughed, a real laugh, and said, "Smart move. These Thursday meetings run long." Lien smiled and said, "So I've heard. Still finding my footing with how long meetings run here, but I'm learning." Carlos nodded and said, "You'll get the hang of it. Took me like 2 months when I started." 2 more people walked in, a woman named Jasmine and a man named Derek. Jasmine sat down and said, generally to the table, "Anyone do anything fun this week?" In the old pattern, silence or a mumbled, "Not really." This time, Lien jumped in, gently, not forcing it. "Actually, I finally found a Vietnamese grocery store not too far from my apartment. Been looking for one since I moved here." Jasmine's face lit up immediately. "Wait, really? Where? I love trying new grocery stores." And just like that, for the first time in 3 weeks, Lien was having a real conversation before a meeting even started. Not because she suddenly became a different person, but because she gave people one small hook to hold on to. And people, it turns out, are always looking for a reason to connect. The meeting itself went fine. Nothing dramatic, just project updates, deadlines, the usual. But at the end, as people were packing up their laptops, Jasmine turned to Lien and said, casually, like it was nothing, "Hey, some of us are doing the Friday lunch thing tomorrow if you want to come. No pressure, but it's fun." Lien felt her heart do something strange, a small jump. This was the same invitation she'd nervously declined 3 weeks earlier. This time, she didn't panic. She didn't overthink the grammar. She just said, "Yeah, I'd actually really like that. Thanks for asking." Jasmine smiled and said, "Perfect. We usually head out around 12:30. That Friday, Lien walked to the sandwich place with 5 coworkers for the first time. She didn't say much. Honestly, that first lunch, maybe 20% of what everyone else said. But she added her small hooks. When someone asked what she thought of the city so far, she didn't say, "Good." She said, "Honestly, it's really good. Still getting used to the winters, though. Coming from a much warmer place." That one sentence led to 10 minutes of everyone comparing weather stories, laughing about their first American winter, and Lien realized something important. She didn't need to talk the most. She just needed to never leave a dead end. 3 weeks later, Lien had her 90-day review with Patricia. And I want to read you, almost word for word, part of what Patricia said in that meeting because Lien told a friend about it afterward, and it stuck with her. Patricia said, "Your work has been excellent from day one. That was never a question. But I'll be honest, I was a little worried early on. You seemed hard to read, and I wasn't sure how you were really feeling about the role. These past few weeks, though, I've seen a real shift. You're chatting with the team. You came to the Friday lunches. Jasmine mentioned you two are becoming friends. That matters here more than people realize. I'm really glad you're on this team." Lien passed her probation with strong marks. But more than that, she told her friend later that the thing that changed wasn't her English level. Her grammar, her vocabulary, all of that had been fine the entire time. What changed was one small habit: adding a hook, never stopping at one word. Now let's take everything we just heard in that story and turn it into pure practice. Because listening to Lien's story is useful, but your mouth needs to actually produce these sentences again and again until they stop feeling like translation and start feeling like just talking. Let's do a round based directly on Lien's meeting scene. I'll give you the question. You give me the open answer with a hook. Ready? You're here early. Yeah, figured I'd grab a coffee first. Wanted to be a little more caffeinated before this one. Say that with me now. Yeah, figured I'd grab a coffee first. Wanted to be a little more caffeinated before this one. One more time, a bit faster and more casual. Yeah, figured I'd grab a coffee first. Wanted to be a little more caffeinated before this one. Next one. Anyone do anything fun this week? Answer like Lien did. Actually, I finally found a Vietnamese grocery store not too far from my apartment. Say it with me. Actually, I finally found a Vietnamese grocery store not too far from my apartment. Again. Actually, I finally found a Vietnamese grocery store not too far from my apartment. Next. What do you think of the city so far? Answer like Lien did. Honestly, it's really good. Still getting used to the winters, though, coming from a much warmer place. Repeat with me. Honestly, it's really good. Still getting used to the winters, though, coming from a much warmer place. One more time. Honestly, it's really good. Still getting used to the winters, though, coming from a much warmer place. Now, here's something important I want you to notice about that last sentence. It has 3 parts. Part 1, the honest reaction. It's really good. Part 2, the small challenge or detail. Still getting used to the winters, though. Part 3, the personal context, coming from a much warmer place. That 3-part structure, reaction, small detail, personal context, is one of the most powerful patterns in casual American conversation. It sounds natural, it's not scripted sounding, and it gives the other person about 3 different directions they could take the conversation next. They could ask about winter. They could ask where you're from. They could just relate and share their own story. Let's move now into our 3rd vocabulary cluster, because we still have a few more words that Lien needed for that review meeting itself, the more formal conversation. not just casual chat. These next words are a little more work-focused, useful when the conversation shifts from "How was your weekend?" to actual performance and progress at work. First phrase, step up. Repeat after me. Step up. This means to take more responsibility or perform better when it's needed. Example, she really stepped up on that last project, took charge when we needed it. Another example, I'm trying to step up more in meetings, share my ideas instead of staying quiet. Now your sentence. Second phrase, on track. Repeat after me. On track. This means progressing well, doing what's expected, moving toward a goal successfully. Example, we're on track to finish the project by Friday. Another example, I feel like I'm on track with everything so far, still learning some of the systems. Your turn now. Third phrase, shift. Repeat after me. Shift as in a change, not a work shift. This means a change in something like behavior or feeling. Example, there's been a real shift in how comfortable I feel here. Another example, I noticed a shift in the team's energy after the deadline passed. Now your sentence, fourth phrase, sign off on. Repeat after me. Sign off on. This means to officially approve something. Example, my manager needs to sign off on this before we send it to the client. Another example, I'm glad she signed off on the extra time I needed to finish it. Your turn. Fifth phrase, worth it. Repeat after me. Worth it. This means something was valuable or good despite the effort or difficulty involved. Example, it was a tough first month, but it was completely worth it. Another example, coming to the Friday lunches was worth it. I made some real friends. Now your sentence. 5 more solid, practical phrases. Let's build one more short scene, this time based on Lien's review conversation with Patricia, so you can hear these more formal words used naturally, still casual, but a little more serious in tone. Here's the scene. Patricia sits down across from Lien for the review. Patricia says, "So, 90 days in, how do you feel things are going?" Lien answers, "Honestly, really good. I feel like I'm on track with most of my projects, and I've felt a real shift in how comfortable I am with the team these past few weeks." Patricia smiles and says, "I've noticed that shift too, honestly. I was a little worried early on, if I'm being honest, but you've really stepped up, both with the work and with the team." Lien says, "That means a lot to hear. It's definitely taken some time to open up more, but it's been worth it." Patricia says, "Well, I'm happy to sign off on your review." Strong marks across the board. Let's shadow this whole exchange together. Repeat after me, line by line. So, 90 days in, how do you feel things are going? Now the answer. Honestly, really good. I feel like I'm on track with most of my projects. Again, honestly, really good. I feel like I'm on track with most of my projects. Next part. I've felt a real shift in how comfortable I am with the team these past few weeks. Repeat. I've felt a real shift in how comfortable I am with the team these past few weeks. You've really stepped up, both with the work and with the team. Say it with me. You've really stepped up, both with the work and with the team. And the final line. It's definitely taken some time to open up more, but it's been worth it. One more time, slowly and clearly. It's definitely taken some time to open up more, but it's been worth it. That sentence. It's taken some time, but it's been worth it, is a sentence you can genuinely use in almost any reflective conversation about your journey in the United States, not just at work. Learning a language, moving to a new city, starting a new life, all of it fits that same honest, hopeful shape. Now let's shift gears into something a little different, because listening and repeating full sentences is powerful. But we also need speed. We need your mouth to react instantly without thinking too hard, the way it would in a real, fast-moving conversation. This next section is what I call the pattern drill. And it's simple. I'm going to give you a sentence frame, a pattern with a blank space, and then I'm going to fire off several different situations, and you plug them into that same pattern, fast, out loud, right now. Here's your first pattern. Pretty good, just a bit. Fill in the blank with a real feeling or situation. Let's go. Pretty good, just a bit tired. Say it. Pretty good, just a bit tired. Next. Pretty good, just a bit busy. Say it. Pretty good, just a bit busy. Next. Pretty good, just a bit swamped. Say it. Pretty good, just a bit swamped. Next. Pretty good, just a bit behind on things. Say it. Pretty good, just a bit behind on things. One more. Pretty good, just a bit nervous about the presentation. Say it. Pretty good, just a bit nervous about the presentation. See how fast that is? One pattern, 5 different real answers, and every single one of them keeps a conversation open because just a bit tired, just a bit busy. These are things every single coworker in America has felt and can instantly relate to. Second pattern. Still I, but getting there. Let's go. Still learning the systems, but getting there. Say it. Still learning the systems, but getting there. Next. Still finding my footing, but getting there. Say it. Still finding my footing, but getting there. Next. Still adjusting to the schedule, but getting there. Say it. Still adjusting to the schedule, but getting there. Next. Still memorizing everyone's names, but getting there. Say it. Still memorizing everyone's names, but getting there. One more. Still getting used to the commute, but getting there. Say it. Still getting used to the commute, but getting there. That pattern, still, but getting there, is incredibly honest and incredibly likable because it admits something is a work in progress without sounding weak or unsure of yourself. Americans respect that kind of quiet confidence, admitting you're not perfect yet, showing you're actively working on it. Third pattern. It's been a lot, but. Let's go. It's been a lot, but I'm managing. Say it. It's been a lot, but I'm managing. Next. It's been a lot, but it's worth it. Say it. It's been a lot, but it's worth it. Next. It's been a lot, but I'm learning fast. Say it. It's been a lot, but I'm learning fast. Next. It's been a lot, but the team's been really supportive. Say it. It's been a lot, but the team's been really supportive. One final one. It's been a lot, but I wouldn't trade it. Say it. It's been a lot, but I wouldn't trade it. Fourth pattern, and this one is especially useful for that Friday lunch, casual, social kind of talk. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about. Let's go. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about your weekend. Say it. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about your weekend. Next. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about that project you mentioned. Say it. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about that project you mentioned. Next. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about the city. Any good spots you'd recommend? Say it. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about the city. Any good spots you'd recommend? One more. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about how you got started here. Say it. Honestly, I'd love to hear more about how you got started here. This last pattern is a secret weapon because it does something powerful. It turns the conversation back to the other person. Remember, you don't have to be the most talkative person in the room. Sometimes the strongest small talk skill isn't talking more. It's asking one genuine follow-up question, showing real curiosity about the other person. People remember how you made them feel far more than they remember your grammar. Let's do one more full round now. Combining everything, questions Lien actually faced, and you answering with real hooks, real vocabulary, real patterns, all mixed together, just like a real day at the office would feel. I'll ask, you answer, no hints this time. Just trust what you've built so far. How was your weekend? Busy day today. How are you settling in? Long week, huh? Anyone do anything fun recently? How do you feel things are going so far? 6 real questions. If you answered every single one with more than just good or fine, if you added even one small hook to each answer, you just did exactly what took Lien 3 difficult weeks to learn, and you did it in a few minutes. That's the whole point of practicing like this, compressing weeks of real, uncomfortable, sink or swim, learning into a few focused minutes of deliberate practice. Let's push forward, because we still have ground to cover. Before we close this lesson today, and I want to make sure every single tool you need is fully in your hands by the time we finish. Let's build one more vocabulary cluster, our 4th and final set for today, because there's a specific kind of conversation moment we haven't covered yet. The moment when a coworker shares something personal or difficult and you need to respond with warmth, not just words. This matters just as much as knowing how to answer about yourself, because being someone people feel safe talking to is exactly what builds trust at work. First phrase, that sounds rough. Repeat after me. That sounds rough. This is a warm, simple way to show sympathy when someone shares something difficult. Example, My car broke down twice this week. Oh no, that sounds rough. Another example. I've been dealing with some family stuff. That sounds rough. I'm sorry to hear that. Now make your own sentence responding to something difficult with, that sounds rough. Second phrase, I hear you. Repeat after me. I hear you. This means you understand and relate to what someone said. Even if you don't have advice, it shows you're really listening. Example, this project has been so stressful. I hear you. It's been a lot for all of us. Another example, I'm still adjusting to the time zone here. I hear you. That took me months when I moved. Your turn. Make a sentence with I hear you. Third phrase, let me know if you need anything. Repeat after me. Let me know if you need anything. This is a simple, kind offer of support, very common in American workplaces, and it costs you nothing to say but means a lot to hear. Example, I've got a lot going on this week. Okay. Well, let me know if you need anything. Another example, said to a new coworker. Let me know if you need anything. Happy to help you get settled. Now your sentence, fourth phrase, same here. Repeat after me. Same here. This is a fast, easy way to show you relate to someone, that you feel the same way. Example, I'm exhausted today. Same here, honestly. Another example, I'm still getting used to how cold it gets. Same here, I wasn't ready for it either. Your turn now. Fifth phrase, no worries. Repeat after me. No worries. This is one of the most common phrases in American workplaces, used to say something's fine, not a problem, don't feel bad. Example, sorry I'm a few minutes late. No worries, we just started. Another example, I might need a little extra time on this. No worries at all, take the time you need. Your sentence now, sixth phrase, I appreciate that. Repeat after me. I appreciate that. This is a warm, genuine way to say thank you when someone offers help or says something kind. Example, let me know if you ever want to grab lunch. I appreciate that, thank you. Another example, you're doing great, by the way. I really appreciate that, means a lot. Your turn to finish this section. That's our fourth and final cluster. And notice something about these 6 phrases. That sounds rough. I hear you. Let me know if you need anything. Same here. No worries. I appreciate that. None of these are about talking about yourself. All 6 of these are about responding to someone else with warmth. And here's something important I want you to understand. Something Lien learned during those Friday lunches. Half of great small talk isn't about your own answers at all. It's about how you respond when someone else opens up to you. If you only ever talk about yourself, even with perfect hooks, people eventually feel like the conversation is one-sided. But if you know how to say, that sounds rough, or I hear you at exactly the right moment, people feel truly listened to, and that feeling is what makes them want to keep talking to you. Let's put this final cluster into one more short scene so you can hear it flow naturally, this time between Lien and her coworker. Jasmine, A few months after that first Friday lunch, once they'd genuinely become friends. Here's the scene. Jasmine sits down next to Lien at lunch, looking a little tired. She says, "Ugh, sorry. I'm a little out of it today. Didn't sleep well." Lien says, "Oh no, that sounds rough." "Everything okay?" Jasmine says, "Yeah, just my neighbor's dog barking half the night. Nothing serious." Lien says, "I hear you. That happened to me my first month here. It's the worst." Jasmine laughs and says, "Right? Anyway, how's your week going?" Lien answers, "Pretty good, actually. Just a bit swamped with this new project, but I'm on track." Jasmine says, "Let me know if you need anything. Happy to help if you get stuck." Lien smiles and says, "I really appreciate that, thank you." Let's shadow the whole scene together one more time, piece by piece. Repeat after me. "Ugh, sorry. I'm a little out of it today. Didn't sleep well." Now the response. "Oh no, that sounds rough. Everything okay?" Say it with me. "Oh no, that sounds rough. Everything okay?" Next line. "I hear you. That happened to me my first month here. It's the worst." Repeat. "I hear you. That happened to me my first month here. It's the worst." Now this one. Pretty good, actually. Just a bit swamped with this new project, but I'm on track. Say it. Pretty good, actually. Just a bit swamped with this new project, but I'm on track. And the final exchange. Let me know if you need anything. Happy to help if you get stuck. I really appreciate that. Thank you. One more full time. Both lines together. Let me know if you need anything. Happy to help if you get stuck. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Notice how natural that whole conversation feels now, compared to Lien's very first week, when a simple "How was your weekend?" used to freeze her completely. Nothing about that scene is complicated English. It's simple words, arranged with warmth, arranged with hooks, arranged with genuine listening. That's the entire secret of American small talk. And now it belongs to you too. Let's do a big cumulative review round now, because this is one of the most important parts of today's lesson. We're going to pull together every single phrase we've learned today, all 24 of them, across all 4 clusters, so your brain locks them in for good, not just for the next 5 minutes. From cluster 1, we learned low key, wrap up, settling in, a lot on my plate, catch up, team player. From cluster 2, we learned still finding my footing, get the hang of it, open up, pull your weight, read the room, check in. From cluster 3, we learned step up, on track, shift, sign off on, worth it. And we also practiced how those combine in a formal review conversation. From cluster 4, we learned, that sounds rough. I hear you. Let me know if you need anything. Same here. No worries. I appreciate that. Let's do a fast round where I give you the meaning, and you say the phrase out loud, as fast as you can, testing whether these words are really locked into your memory now. Ready? Simple, calm, not a big deal. That's low key. Say it, low key. Next, to finish a task. That's wrap up. Say it. Wrap up. Next, getting comfortable with something new. That's settling in. Say it. Settling in. Next, having a lot of responsibilities right now. That's a lot on my plate. Say it. A lot on my plate. Next, doing your fair share of the work. That's pulling your weight. Say it. Pull your weight. Next, understanding the mood of a group. That's reading the room. Say it. Read the room. Next, to officially approve something. That's sign off on. Say it. Sign off on. Next, showing sympathy for something difficult. That sounds rough. Say it. That sounds rough. Next, saying it's fine, don't worry. That's no worries. Say it. No worries. 9 phrases. Tested fast. And if you got even most of those right without hesitating too long, that tells you something important. This vocabulary is starting to live in your memory as real, usable language, not just words you read once and forgot. Now let's do one final full practice round, and this one's going to feel a little different because I want you to imagine yourself, specifically you, in your own real situation, at your own job, or the job you're preparing for. I'm going to ask questions the way a real American coworker would, casually, quickly, one after another. And I want you to answer out loud, using everything we practiced today, your own real hooks, your own real details from your own life. Here we go. Hey, how was your weekend? Answer for real, using your own weekend. Busy day today? Answer honestly. How are you settling in these days? Whether it's a new job, a new city, a new anything, answer for real. Long week, huh? Answer honestly. Anyone do anything fun recently? Share something real, even something small. How do you feel things are going so far generally? Take a moment and give a real, honest, 3-part answer. Reaction. Small detail, personal context. If you answered even a few of those with real details from your real life, you just did something incredibly valuable. You didn't just memorize phrases. You practiced using them to talk about your actual life, which is exactly what you'll need to do the very next time. A coworker, a manager, or a new friend asks you one of these questions in real life, not in a video, but in a real break room, a real meeting, a real Friday lunch. I want to bring us back to Lien one final time because there's a small detail at the end of her story that I think matters more than anything else we covered today. About 6 months after that 90-day review, Lien was the one organizing the Friday lunch group. She was the one who would walk over to a new hire's desk. Someone else who looked nervous, someone else who might say good or fine, and she would say, "Hey, some of us are grabbing lunch on Friday if you want to join, no pressure, but it's fun." The exact words Jasmine once said to her. She told her friend later that, in that moment, inviting someone else, she realized how far she'd come. Not because her English had become perfect, it hadn't. She still made mistakes. She still sometimes searched for a word mid-sentence. But because she had learned the one skill that mattered more than perfect grammar ever could, the skill of never leaving a silence where a small hook could go. Instead, the skill of making people feel like there was always a little more to discover about her, always a reason to keep the conversation going, always a reason to include her. That's what today's lesson was really about, and I want you to carry this with you long after this video ends. It's not about talking more. It's not about impressing anyone with big vocabulary. It's about one small, simple habit. Answer first, honestly, in whatever words feel natural to you. Then add just one small hook, one small detail, one small door left open. That's the entire difference between being the quiet person nobody quite knows and being someone people genuinely want on their team, want at their table, want in their life. Here in this country, you're building a new life in. If today's practice helped you, even a little, even if you only remember one phrase, no worries, that sounds rough. Still finding my footing. Whichever one landed with you, that's a real win. Language learning isn't about mastering everything at once. It's about collecting these small tools, one at a time, until one day, without even realizing it, one day, you're the one who's comfortable. You're the one inviting the new person to lunch. You're the one who stopped being hard to read. Go to the comments right now and tell me one hook you're going to try this week. One small phrase from today you're actually going to use the next time someone asks how your weekend was. I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to know which one felt the most natural to you. And if this video helped you feel a little more ready for your own workplace, whether you're starting a new job soon or you're already there and just want to feel more connected to your team, hit subscribe, because tomorrow we're moving into another survival situation. This time at the doctor's office, learning exactly what to say when you don't understand your prescription, or when you're nervous about explaining your symptoms clearly. That's a conversation that matters just as much as any office small talk, maybe even more. You didn't just practice English today. You practiced belonging. And that's worth more than any grammar rule I could ever teach you. Keep speaking. Keep the door open. And I'll see you in the next one.